It's not often that I get a chance to talk about opportunities that are specifically for one community. In this particular episode today, we're going to talk with Eric Doc Wright, Vets to PM founder, also the Military Transition podcast, leading podcasts across the nation, helping military veterans transition into civilian workforce to find meaningful work and a lucrative career. By the way, Eric Doc Wright is also going to be speaking at our conference, October the 12th, Contract Connection Summit, where he will lead a workshop helping military persons find out, one, how do you start to translate what you did at your jobs in terms of the military to actual civilian jobs? What does that look like? What are some of the names? What do you call it? And at the end of the day, we want to help you be able to fill out your PMP certification form. So if you have not already signed up, sign up today. Come meet Eric Doc Wright in person live. He's going to be signing some of his books on the spot and sharing us with all of the benefits and the value, how to increase the small business P-win rate by you, the veteran, having a PMP certification. So again, a lot of times we hear about these things and what to do to go get them, but now how to put it to good use and how to be effective and being able to get yourself a higher paying position, job, and also how to grow your small business using some of the tools and resources. Stay tuned for this upcoming episode with super dynamic speakers. We share the same name, but he's got way more energy than me. Eric Doc Wright, one of our featured speakers coming up at the Contract Connection Summit on October the 12th in Miami. Eric, nice to meet you. Great to have you on. Thanks for coming on today.
Hey, thanks, Eric. Glad to be here, man.
No, listen, like I said, you're already a high energy guy, man. I watched some of your videos before.
Wait till I get caffeinated, dude.
Oh, no. Where are you at physically?
So I am in the shadow of the Cape, man. I'm on the Atlantic side of Florida, smack dab in the middle of the state, 1 block away from the Atlantic Ocean. Love it.
Nice.
Space
Awesome.
Coast.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Space Coast.
Yep.
Wow. Actually, I had an office over there, but we'll talk about that another time. So listen, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, your business, and we'll go into some questions in a minute.
Yeah, so served in 2 uniforms, transitioned out of both, medical reasons both times. So, not only is the military transition hard enough, but then when it's med board driven, it's a real, shit show, if I can say that on the radio, right? So I had a really rough transition out of both services. And so after about 20, 25, 28 years of wandering around trying to figure it out, started a company that now helps other military veterans achieve meaningful, lucrative careers. Bang. We've put 800 veterans to work in 500 companies over the last 5 years. They're all making $95,000 or more a year, which is generate, 60, 70 million dollars in recurring economic activity for our country. And oh, by the way, corporate America cares because it helps them solve their talent management crisis, right? So I'm kind of like solving 2 missions with 1 company. And then, as if that wasn't enough, like I didn't have enough to do, I co-founded a nonprofit that takes the veterans after they get the civilian career and mentors them, right, for the rest of their career. So we use industry-based PMs. They mentor the PMs on the job. The veteran PMs help them develop that context. We just achieved our 501c3 status, 6 weeks ago, and we just got a $10,000 sponsorship. We're having our first annual golf outing. We've already raised $20,000 there. Just hired a great board, and they're all fire breathers, man. And they are, just getting it done. It's just absolutely amazing to watch.
That sounds like you're a fire breather, man.
I'm good at spotting other fire breathers, brother.
That's great. No, like A players need to hire other A players, right?
That's right.
One of the things actually, I and I don't remember where I heard this from, but it says you should only hire people that you would be willing to work for.
Yeah.
Think about that. And if people could put that in context, that's how people grow out these multi-gazillion dollar organizations is if you hire people that you'd be willing to work for, that means we're all like top people.
Eric, and that's a great point, brother. So kind of to just like add to that a little bit to enhance that. When I'm interviewing folks, right, because we start a lot of our guys and gals out as independent contractors, right? Like, hey, help us write some resumes. Hey, help us teach some courses. Hey, help us, right? And we help them set up their own little LLCs, and I teach them how to read a financial statement. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, hey, here's your P&L. Here's what it means. Here's your balance sheet. Here's why they call it a balance sheet. Here's what's got to balance, like basic blocking and tackling. We do the marketing. We take the risk. We help them set up for success, and then we push them work, right? So they got a guaranteed customer if they get it set up, right? So it's creating economic vitality all over the place, which is probably one of the reasons we won Department of Labor's 2019 Small Business Award, right, for hiring veterans, right? So
that's incredible.
Yeah, so we push that stuff out, and we create economic vitality around the community, right? So it's a really cool way to make a living, and success breeds success. So the more people we help succeed, man, the more people, the bigger the success comes, the more people that want to join the tribe, the bigger the tribe gets. Now we can hunt and gather more effectively. So yeah, it's awesome. But I was going to highlight one of your points, man. Owner versus employee mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I only hire people. I ask them in the interview, bro. I ask them a couple questions to tease out whether they think like an employee or an owner. You know why? Because if they got an owner mindset, I will work for them. Right? Because I'm going to bring them in. I'm going to give them their own business or a piece of the business. Say, hey, here's what we need this piece of the business to do. Tag, you're it, brother. It's yours. Eric, grow this piece of the business. And you're the entrepreneur. You're the owner, right? Because I'm busy keeping the ship off the iceberg, man. Like looking at the horizon, shooting azimuths, whatever, right? Like, just like a ship, dude. Engineering officer, repair officer, communications officer, weapons officer, like, hey man, run your piece of the boat like it's your piece of the ship, right? Like, get it done. So, to your point, man, I only hire owners, right? You got to have that mindset. And there's nothing, and we all need employees, man. There's nothing wrong with an employee mindset. It's just when you're in a startup environment, man,
it's tough.
We're not big enough. We're not stable enough. We don't have enough. We don't have enough market share and enough revenue. We're not 50 million company. We don't have the luxury of having a legion of people punching in at 8, punching out at 5, taking 2 weeks PTO. Like, you know what I mean? You just don't get that in startups. So I love it when, LinkedIn, right? Social media. Hey, strike work-life balance. Well, yeah, that advice, those platitudes are not given to you typically by folks in a startup environment, right?
No, not at all.
If the herd is going by and we're starving, brother, it's time to go hunt, period. I don't care what you got going on back at the camp. You know what I mean?
Oh, I tell them, you got to eat what you kill, man, out here. You eat what you kill. You don't kill, you don't eat.
That's right.
That's it. So tell me, you're doing some incredible work with veterans. Now, how does this work? How does your program work? Tell us all about it, right? So I'm a veteran and I'm transitioning out, right? So I know that there's they tell me there's different transition programs that people have and things like that. Yep. This is not one of them, or is this a transition program?
Well, so really, dude, we're a training and placement company, right? Okay. So we take military veterans and we help them achieve meaningful, lucrative careers. We do that with a proprietary 4-step process. First step is inspiration. Hey, here's your new instate. Here's the requirements. Here's what you need to look like, sound like, act like. So, what to wear to work, like how to find what they wear to work, how to use LinkedIn to do intelligence gathering, whatever. So we inspire them, primarily by helping them translate what they were doing in the military into what they want to do: finance, accounting, cybersecurity, project management, human resources, whatever. Then we train them. Step 2, we train them. So we help them get credentials. We help them translate into that target language on the credential exam. And we only do credentials that industries tell us they want. We query executives. We query CEOs, CFOs, directors of HR. Hey, what do you need your ex top hire to look like? So we build the requirements in, right? That's step 2 is train. Step 3 is we prepare them. And prepare means, Eric, anything and everything they need, brother. LinkedIn makeover, profile makeover. How to use LinkedIn to find companies you want to work with in areas you want to live in. How to determine what their values are really like, how they really take care of customers. We write them a resume. We give them internal workshops to develop interview skills. Like, everything they need to get prepared or get ready to go to that civilian job interview. And then step 4, man, is we place them for life, brother, for life, right? So let's say you get out and you go into construction project management and you call me in 5 years, you're like, dude, all right, I'm tired of working outside all the time in Florida, brother. It's hot in the summer. I want to do pharmaceutical project management. Okay, here's the things you need to do, bang, 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 to learn how to spell pharmaceutical while we go to town on revamping your resume, networking with people to get you internships, whatever, so you can go get the context of how to be a pharmaceutical project manager, right? So that's really what we do. And the cool part is you can lather, rinse, and repeat. So if you say, hey, I want to do project management, somebody else says, hey, I want to do cybersecurity, and somebody else says, hey, I want to do human resources, guess what? I've got pipelines that take you from DOD to those new targets. I mean, here's the idea, dude. Here's the philosophy, Eric. The 2 most watershed days in any veteran's life, I don't care whether you retired or you did one hitch. I don't care if you were an officer or enlisted. I don't care what rank you made. I don't care what your super cool job was in uniform. The day you go from civilian to soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, and the day you go from soldier, sailor, airman, Marine to civilian, bang, dude, abrupt halt, right? Like dead stop, 40 mile an hour, 0 mile an hour into a wall, right?
Right.
You were Admiral whatever Friday, now you're Mike on Monday. I mean, it really is
I've heard that
rough,
before.
right?
Yeah.
Now,
I'm not a veteran, but I've heard that.
Yeah, yeah. Some guys and gals have it easier. Some have it harder. Some, I mean, so you're all over the map. But so that's the basic philosophy is, hey, we acculturate you on your way in, right? Here's how to be a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, whatever branch you're going into. And then we give you a 3-day exit course. like that's it. Hey, get a resume. Hey, do your profile. Hey, learn how to spell LinkedIn. Like, I'm not saying it's not valuable. And oh, by the way, it's much better now than it was 20 years ago, right? When I got out, brother, there wasn't even LinkedIn. Vice President Gore was still creating the internet, right? Like there was no LinkedIn, there was no Facebook, there was none of that network.
Right.
So I'm not saying it's not valuable. I'm just saying that to expect somebody who's been in a military environment for 6, 8, 10, 50, 20 years, 30 years, to learn how to speak civilian in 3 days. Hey, here's how they walk. Here's how they talk. Here's how they chew gum. Here's how, you know what I mean? Like you can't do that in 3 days, man. So we got a program that takes the average bear about 90 days to finish. And when they're done, man, a little bit of time, a lot of effort, a lot of hustle, a little bit of reflection, figuring out who they want to be next, man, about 90 days, brother, they can be making $95,000 a year.
Now, a lot of the veterans that I know are very afraid to actually leave the military and come out to the civilian world. I mean, I remember my nephew personally, he was worried. Like it was creating like anxiety within him to actually leave, to come out here because he was uncertain about his future.
Yeah, and think about this, dude. A lot of people say, oh, the transition, and especially civilians. Oh, well, it must be because you carried a rifle and you shot somebody and you got PTS. Oh, yeah, I can understand why you're having a rough transition. No. Think about it. Sebastian Younger has done some great work on this. So if you haven't seen his TEDx talk, I would highly recommend his TEDx talk. But it's amazing. But anyway, so think about this, dude. Go stand on any street corner and watch what social media has done to this society. Right now, this is only a first world problem. Okay, you got to have a device hooked up to the internet to have this problem. Okay, so I'm not saying there's lots of other people in the world who have really big, huge problems. But think about on Friday, dude, going from an environment where everybody on the team knows your name, they know your birthday, they know who you are, they know where you came from, they know your family, they love you, their life depends on you, and your life depends on them. You are literally brothers and sisters.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
On Monday, bro, you got your tie on, you got your resume, you walk in, you got your new job in the civilian workforce, the Civ Div, I call it. And Eric meets me at the door. Eric, how you doing? I'm Eric, man. I'm gonna be your host for today. I'm gonna get you set up at your desk. You take me to my desk. Does your computer work? You turn on my computer. Hey, how's your phone? Check your phone. I check my desk phone. Like everything works.
Yep.
Dude, you disappear, bro. I don't know where the bathroom is. I don't know where to get a hamburger so I can be back in 30 minutes for lunch. Like, I don't know who the CEO is. I don't know where to get an org chart. I don't even know what department I'm sitting in, brother. Like,
right.
You disappear.
Yeah, I'm going.
And then when I go to the cafeteria or I go down the street to get a burger, everybody's doing this, man. Everybody's in a device, having lunch, 30 minutes lunch. I'm completely disconnected, dude. And you know what isolation does to people? We're social critters, bro. After about 2-3 weeks of that, you're just kind of wandering around. You're like, what in the hell am I doing this for? Why am I getting up every morning? Now the insidious parts of the transition start. Like, what am I doing? What's my sense of purpose? What's my sense of mission? How do I derive any meaning out of this? I'm literally just showing up and punching a time card. I mean, we don't do that anymore, but
Right.
like we do it on our computer. We log in or whatever. I mean, so that's really exacerbates the transition. So now not only do I have trouble, how do I dress? How do I talk? Oh, one of the famous things we say in TAP, hey, quit speaking military. Okay, well, what do I speak instead? Just quit speaking military. Thanks for the help, right? Great. Awesome platitude. I'll hang that on my wall. Don't speak military. We don't tell you what to speak. Hey, you're going to be an accountant. You're in the accounts receivable department. Here's how accountants talk. Here's how human resource professionals talk. I'm not saying it's easy. It takes work for the veteran to learn the language.
Right.
But dude, there's SOPs. There's manuals on how to be an accountant. There's manuals on how to be a human resource professional. Yeah. You just got to go find that stuff and learn that stuff. So that really exacerbates that whole transition. Is I not only have to learn everything the civilian knows, but I also have to recreate now my own sense of purpose, my own sense of meaning, my own sense of mission, my own my own identity, because nobody around me cares, right? They're all judged on individual performance. Nobody cares about me or how I do or what I do.
All right. No. Now let's get into the actual high level. What is the problem, right? So we identified, right, that what you do, but now what is the problem? And where do you think that you guys can help fill some of the gaps out there?
So one of the biggest struggles is finding that new sense of mission, that new sense of purpose, that new sense of identity, and translating what you're capable of doing 6, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 20 years in uniform, translating what you're capable of doing into the language that a civilian can understand. Okay, so just like the Navy and the Air Force and the Marine Corps and the Army and the civilian workforce has a doctrine. The doctrine is basically the 4 functions of management, right? To run a company, you have to make plans and target metrics, so you know whether the plan was a success. You have to organize the resources to resource the plan. You have to execute the plan, lead the people in the execution of the plan, and then you have to control performance and plan. Are we getting the performance that we need to accomplish the objective set forth in the plan? And then we lather, rinse, and repeat until we set up a new company, take more market share, increase our stock price this quarter, like whatever the objective was, right? That's how a business works, regardless of its size, its industry, its sector, its whatever. So when military guys and gals get out and talk about lead, all the employer heard was, hey, cool, so you know how to do one of the 4 functions of management, but you don't talk about the other one, so you must not be qualified. So just right there, understanding that you have to talk about your experience in all 4 functions of management can oftentimes help an E6 and O2 and O5 change the way they talk about what they're capable of doing and bringing to the table. And they'll win the interview right there, dude, just by changing that one, or filling that one piece of gap in their head. So really, Eric, that's what we do, brother. We just give them a transition plan. Here's what you need to look like, sound like, and act like in this profession. Here's your development plan to get there. There's 90 days of your tail.
Right. Now, I understand that you've built some tools to help do this.
Yeah, man. So we've got spreadsheets. You type in your experience. It spits out what you look like as a civilian. So it literally translates into the target language for you. We give you an interview skills workshop. So when we say, hey, do your LinkedIn profile, well, what does that mean? Right, hey, here's the 9 things that means. Go fix your URL. Go put up a professional picture. Write your summary, but do it in the first person, not third person. It sounds like Jimmy on Seinfeld. Hey, Dr. Eric Wright did this and he did that and he did the other thing. Dude, we all know you wrote it.
Right.
You sound like Jimmy on Seinfeld. Hey, Jimmy made a good pass. Jimmy made a good shot. Wasn't Jimmy great? Like, You know,
No, that's really important stuff that you're mentioning. Actually, that's really important stuff because no one teaches that you how to do these things anywhere.
and you've heard it all before, dude. But we literally walk them through screen by screen. Dude, here's what a tagline means. Here's where it lives. Here's why it's important. We literally teach them how to spell LinkedIn. We teach them how to develop interview skills. We teach them how to use LinkedIn to find companies that live the values, that hire good employees, that take care of their customers. It's real easy, bro. Find companies you think you want to work at based on job descriptions you've read, not titles, just job descriptions. Hey, I think I could do that. That sounds like a lot of fun. But are they really what they say they are, Eric? Cool. Just connect with people that work at that company using LinkedIn. Start conversations with them. Hey, Eric, so you guys' 5 values are blah, 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 blah. Do you guys ever see that in action? Do you live those values? Or is that just something you plaster on the wall? Hey, Eric, I noticed that, like, I've read some of your guys' press releases. It says you really value this customer or that customer. How do you guys demonstrate customer appreciation? Like, you literally can find answers to the interview test that you're going to take, bro, by asking people that work there. They'll tell you. Now, when you walk in the interview, you look like them. You're in a suit. You're dressed however they're dressed. Now, here's a trick, too. I don't care if you're a techie and you're going into IT, brother. If everybody else in the place is wearing a hoodie, you will too when you get hired. But on interview day, wear a suit. Like,
of course. No, right. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah. So, but you can find out what to wear to the interview by using LinkedIn, right? So, so that's really what we do is, hey, here's the target thing you want to go into based on what you are capable of doing and want to do.
Right.
Here's how you translate. Here's how you get ready. We just package you up and then we present you and you look like them. You sound like them. You act like them. And we're human beings, man. We're social critters. We love people like ourselves.
Yes.
So if you show up and you're asking me good questions and you're interested in what I do and how I do it in the company and you look like me and you sound like me and you act like me and you're asking me good questions that allow me to give you my 2 cents worth. Everybody likes to be heard, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Win in the interview all day long.
Now, you teach project management. What is project management? I mean, we talked about it, but I mean, like I hear all kind of definitions of project management. I know what project management means in construction. What is it? How would you define project management?
Basic definition of a project is anything not ops, right? So if it's temporary, it's going to start on this date, it's going to stop on that date. And when it stops, in theory, if we do it right, we should have this new thing, 40-story skyscraper, new SOP, new division in the company, new process, like whatever. If it's temporary, start, stop date, and unique, something exists when you're done that didn't exist before, a new iPhone, like the iPhone 19 or whatever they're up to now, right? Like that, a marketing campaign, starting a company, whatever. Those are all projects, temporary, unique endeavors, which means in the military, anybody who's ever had mission responsibility for getting something temporary and unique done, guess what? Has project management experience, and they have lots of it, right? So, that's what a project is. And that's how we know military veterans, a large majority of them, have project experience.
Okay. Now, you got the project manager. I come to you. You're going to help me prepare for what? How do I get that job? Like, so what do you help me prepare for? Of course, we're going to set up my profiles. We're going to get me to talk the language. You're preparing me for the interview. You said I need some sort of certifications. Talk to me about the certifications.
Yeah, so there's lots of certifications you can get. One of the biggest ones in North America is the Project Management Professional Certification from the Project Management Institute, right? And for a veteran, what it basically does is demonstrates that I have a command of the project management body of knowledge. There it is. It's like the field manual for how to be a project manager on the outside. So in the military, we have field manuals for everything. How to go to the field, how to be a leader, how to be a comms officer, how to be this, that, the other thing, field manual. That's what that is. It's a field manual. What the PMP really does for a military veteran is say, hey, some independent third party says, I understand that document. I know the language. I understand the tools. I've got a basic comprehension of the document and how to do it. How to do what? Here's what project management really is, brother. If it's temporary unique, it means I got to set up a team. It means I got to define what it is we're doing. and get stakeholder agreement so that when I go do that stuff, they're going to sign off on it and write me a check, right? To pay my folks.
Right.
So I'm going to do this thing to these standards, according to this timeline, with this set pool of resources, and I'm going to execute that thing using a small team of high-performing individuals that I've put together, coached, led, directed, etc. So that's really all project management is. So if you're a people person, if you can brief progress, if you can add, subtract, multiply basic math, so you can talk about time and money, if you like that stuff, you'll probably dig being a project manager. If you're an introvert and you don't like getting yelled at and you don't like having to brief senior people, like here's one of the litmus tests, dude. When somebody's interviewing to get into the program, it's not a matter of if I'm ever going to have to stand you in front of a chief financial officer, a CFO, and brief a $5 million budget. You will do that.
Right.
You will do that.
Right.
And if you don't like doing that, you shouldn't be a project manager. Right?
Gotcha.
So we've started this year, 2020, based on industry. Industries reached out to us and said, hey, man, we've hired some of your folks. We love your project managers. You got any cybersecurity folks in there? Hey, man, you got any HR folks in there? Hey, man, you got any building safety professionals in there? So here's one of the initiatives we're doing now. The building safety profession, right? So think about this. You're a construction guy, right? You guys are building a building. Who inspects it to make sure that it's safe for public use? Your local code official.
Right, sure.
That profession's dying, dude. That profession, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, has 100,000 people in it. 80% of them, brother, are within 10, 15 years of retirement. 80%.
Right.
That means literally we could watch that profession go extinct within our lifetime.
Right.
How crazy is that, dude?
No, that's true.
And if nobody's making sure that we're building safe buildings, then like, you know, what's going to happen to lawsuits? What's going to happen to civil discourse? What's going to happen to, you know what I mean? Like, hey, that was a great building until it collapsed on 4,000 people in the inside of it. You know, like that's not, we can't let that happen as a society.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the profession reached out and said, hey, Eric, we know you guys do this for this industry. Can you help us with our industry? Sure, we can. That's what we do for a living. We take veterans and help them achieve meaningful, lucrative careers in corporate America.
Very nice.
Right? So we're doing an initiative where we're now helping them recruit, train, credential, prepare, and place. Same 4-step proprietary process: inspire, train, prepare, and place. We are going to help them save that industry because we think it's a good thing to do, Eric. You'll notice that a lot of stuff Vets to PM sets its mind to do. Yeah, we help veterans, but helping veterans who have integrity and sense of service and selfless service, and they fit really well in careers that have meaningful, purposeful jobs to do for society.
Yeah,
it's a really good fit.
No, I would agree.
So that's what we do. We put them in careers that are in high demand and that their work, what they do for a living, matters a lot to the companies they do it for and the customers who buy that stuff.
It's interesting. I was looking at, before we jumped on today, PMI, they said the job growth and talent gap between 2017 and 2027, right? It says it looks like employers are going to need 87 million individuals working in project management oriented roles, while there remains a notable shortage of qualified talent.
Yep. Now here's the reality, brother. If PMI does a study that they paid for,
yeah, of course,
and they releases the result, they say, oh my God, we're 8 million project managers light in the workforce. Oh my gosh, the sky's falling down.
Right.
Okay, first of all, that's a really big number. So if I'm a skeptical person, like I tend to be, right? And I'm not skeptical. I like to see the facts. Let's look at the facts. Let's take the emotion out of this for a second. Let's look at the facts. Let's draw some conclusions. Let's logic this out and make a plan based on that. Okay. So regardless of whether you think the number is 8 million short or not, because A, that's a big number, and B, well, it's kind of a paid for study. So is that really the number, or is there some bias in there? Regardless of what you think, here's what I tell business owners and executives when I talk to them. I know that you have the illness of a project management talent shortage right now. You're already sick. You just don't know it. right? Kind of timely too with COVID going around the globe right now. You're sick, you don't even know it, right?
Yeah.
How do I know you're sick? Well, because statistically, you're experiencing one or more of the symptoms. Here are the symptoms of a workforce shortage, a talent shortage in your organization. And this holds true with cybersecurity professionals, HR professionals, finance professionals, project management professionals. How do I know? Because we make them and place them. That's how I know. So here's the symptoms. And I ask them, I start every keynote, I start every workshop, I start every consultation with this battery of questions, Eric, and here it is, real simple. Hey, raise your hand, and you have to raise your hand. So if you're one of those people who don't play hand raising games, then you need to leave right now because I'm going to ask you to play. And I'm going to call you out if you don't raise your hand.
Eric, we should have went live. We should have went live. We should have went live.
Yeah. So raise your hand if you have trouble finding project managers and you have so much trouble doing it that oftentimes you convert your best whatever into the project manager. So let's say you're an accountant and you get put on an accounts payable system implementation project and you guys crush it. Well, if I saw Eric doing good stuff and that project was a success, guess what? Eric's no longer an accountant. Eric's project manager running accounting projects. Right?
Yep.
That's called internal cannibalization. You're cannibalizing your staff. So now you're down a really good accountant because you just made Eric a project manager. Why? Because you're really short in project management. And oh, by the way, how many times can you spend $5 million to implement and upgrade your accounting systems and blow that project budget before you go bankrupt? Not very many. 5 million is a big number. So you cannibalize your internal staff. Okay, second symptom, raise your hand if you've cannibalized your staff and you're run out of staff. So now you're going to poach people from across town at the organization across town, signing bonuses, increased salaries, whatever. So now you're in a price war because you're poaching talent. That's poaching. External is poaching. Now you're poaching talent from your competitor across town. Now both of you have a problem. Neither one of you have enough project managers and you're blowing your projects and your customers are mad. So now you have third symptom. How many of you have project managers working more than 3 projects? Raise your hand. There's your third symptom. Now you're overworking those you do have. Now you're going to burn them out, brother. Now you're compounding your problem. Okay, those 3 things are bad enough as it is on its own. How long do you think a customer will take or accept you blowing deliverable schedules, you blowing their budget, you costing them time and money? Probably not long. Now they're going to take their business elsewhere. So now you're losing revenue. So most companies I talk to, brother, not only have one symptom, many of them raise their hands to multiple symptoms. It's a good thing Doc's in the house, man. I made a house call, baby. I got the antidote. I got a database full of cleared, credentialed, prepared, experienced project managers ready to go to work tomorrow. All you got to do is call my gal, Kathy McLatt. Too easy. Doc's in the house.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it, Doc. I love it. Now, okay, how long does it take for someone to go to get through the program to become a project manager? What is that like to get the actual certification? How long does that take?
So
I know you said 90 days, but what is the actual? Tell me the time, like in terms of the class, because everyone doesn't like taking classes, right? I mean, again, I may have those great skill sets, but some people claim they're poor test takers. So tell me, what does that look?
So we got a 30-day study plan. With our cybersecurity plan, you've got to take your Security Plus entry-level credential so that you can show somebody, hey, I can spell cybersecurity, I can spell IT. And then you got to take an advanced cloud, like Baskin Robbins 31 ice cream flavors. So there's Amazon cloud, there's Microsoft cloud, there's like 3 or 4 major flavors of cloud. So you got to take an advanced credential to say, hey, I know how to do cybersecurity. Oh, and I know how to do it on this cloud, right? Or in this cloud environment. Okay. And then you have to be able to, dress, talk, LinkedIn, whatever. So our pipeline is the same regardless of what X credential is that we're getting for you or that you're going to achieve. Most of our pipelines, dude, if the vet applies themselves and follows our execution plan, they can go from uniform to target profession in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. That's if they bust it from start to finish. Because like you said, man, a lot of it is you got to do it on your own. I can give you the study plan. I can show you the books to study. I can give you videos and audios. I can give you coaching calls. I can do all that stuff for you, but you have to put the time in to develop the skills, knowledge, and abilities to test in the target credentials that we set out for you. So for example, AWS. I don't tell you to take AWS if you want to grow up and be cybersecurity. I don't tell you to take AWS because I care.
Right.
I'm not a cybersecurity professional. That's what the hiring vice president of HR said you should have if you want to make $125,000 working for them. And oh, by the way, they have 19 vacancies right now. So if you've got about 6-8 weeks of your time and you want to make $125,000 a year doing cybersecurity, because that's what you really dig, brother, if you execute this plan, you'll be there in 12 weeks. They have 19 vacancies right now, and the requirements that we're training you on are what they said you needed to have so they could hire you. I mean, dude, we've done all the math for you. All you got to do is show up and do the work.
This almost sounds too good to be true.
Well, it is. You know why? Because I built the program that was missing when I transitioned out. When I got out of the service, brother, the senior chief who recruited me into the Navy didn't lie, Eric. I had an amazing skill set when I got out, bro. Here's the problem, though. I was a nuclear welder. Do you know how many nuclear-powered ships there are in the civilian fleet? There's zero, brother. There's that many.
Right.
So I got this great skill set, but I got nowhere to apply it. So I've got no value to a civilian if all I can talk is welding, do I?
No, not at all.
I got zero value. Hey, but what about all the project management I did? What about all the leadership? What about all the team building and resourcing and coaching? And man, companies need people that can put together and coach teams to high performance all the time, right? I got a great skill set. I just didn't know how to translate it. So I grew up Southern Baptist, right? So I'm gonna demonstrate that right now. So one of my favorite stories, right, is like wandering around in the job desert for 12 years in circles, bro, trying to figure it out, rubbing my head against the wall, hoping a hole would appear, right? Like, just keep doing it, man. Just believe, dude, right? Like 12 years in the job desert, brother, chased a bunch of certifications, chased a bunch of degrees, got 6 of those. I got 8 certifications, all national certifications, got a wheelbarrow full of student loan debt, still making $40,000 a year, brother. And in Southern California, that doesn't go very far at all. No. Like I was never going to get married. You know what I mean? I was a loser, dude. Yeah. I'm going to marry you $40,000 a year in San Diego, right? No. So my point is I was doing everything that I thought I was supposed to do, but I was getting a bunch of platitudes. Hey, do this, do that, do this other thing, and no tactical execution help. So I put together a company, 4-step plan, tactical plan, start here, follow the yellow footprints, boot camps, we have yellow footprints, we have yellow lines, you follow these things around the base until you graduate, right? That's the analogy. Follow the footprints, stay on the line, and in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 15 weeks, you will look like a civilian, talk like a civilian, act like a civilian, and make a civilian paycheck. Now, you still got to get your head straight. You still got to get your heart straight. You still got to get your soul straight. You still got all these other facets of you transitioning. But I'll tell you what, brother, from personal experience and experience helping thousands of people do this, Eric, if you're making $95,000, brother, you got a steady paycheck. You're able to take care of your family. You look at yourself in the mirror and you feel like you're doing right every morning when you shave. Dude, I'm telling you, it gives you space to figure out all that other stuff.
Right.
That's what we really provide, is that peace of mind that you can translate into a professional and go to work every day and have meaning, sense, and purpose, right? And get a nice paycheck while you figure out all that other stuff, man.
You know what I like is that, like you said, the fact that you helped them place a job, because you can go out and get certified anywhere, right? And get credentialed anywhere. But I mean, I'm not doing it just because I want some letters behind my name. I'm doing it because I want a job.
Amen.
I want a job, man. Like, that's what I want, is a job. Can you get me a job? Like, I'm not doing all this stuff for the fact, because I want to, spend more money, time, and energy trying to fill my brain up with useless knowledge. Like, I'm doing this for a purpose, for a reason.
That's right. Take that piece of paper, take that credential down to your local butcher and see how many steaks he gives you in return for that piece of paper.
That's right. Yeah. No, and I'm a firm believer in that, because again, I went to college. I've got a degree. I've never used my degree at all. And so I tell
I
people,
see
like,
you, Gator.
right? You know, I mean, I love my Gators. Trust me, I'm going to leave them a lot of money when I pass. But still, at the same time, you know, the only thing to me that it gave me was a confidence to say that I have the ability to learn and to educate myself. So that's where I got that. But other than that, it didn't, you know, help me in the actual work world, right?
Yeah, but brother, those chops help you every day, right? Like you've got the confidence of knowing like, hey, I can learn something new.
Right.
I can execute. I can put it into practice, and
100,
I can value greater than the investment.
That's right. That's what I got from it. No, that's what I got from it. Honestly. Yeah. I went out and actually, you know what? I went out and learned Spanish on my own because I felt confident enough that I could do that. And I feel like I could learn multiple, you know, Chinese as well, right? Because I feel that confident in my abilities now moving forward because of, you know, when I look back at that engineering stuff that I did, I was an engineer. I go, what in the world was I thinking? I mean, if you look at it looks like Chinese. Yeah. You know, so that's why I said, you know what? If I can learn this, I can learn Chinese, man. But let me tell you, let's going back to the veterans. Now, I see a lot of veterans going to school to collect money when they leave out of there and they go get a degree. How do you feel about that?
Look, man, so I've got 6 degrees, brother, and I swore I was never going to college when I left home at 17, right? So life has a way of making you eat crow sometimes. So 6 degrees later, right, I got some college in me.
Right.
But so look, with the way the world works today, and I don't mean like the world, like first world, second world, third world, like countries and whatever. I'm talking about the world of business, okay? I'm talking about technology. I'm talking about that stuff. The way it works today, man, you know, we don't have 4 years for you to go get a degree.
No.
We don't have 2 years for you to go get an executive MBA, brother. I need you to figure it out next week.
Yeah.
Right? Or we're going to go out of business.
Right.
So I don't know how I feel about education right now, brother. Like my 12-year-old son, you know, what am I going to do? Am I going to send him to 4 years of college? Probably what I'm going to do is send him to 2 years of junior college, let him do it that way, right? Pay for the party experience cheaply, right? Figure out who you are, what you want to do. Right. And then the next 2 years when it gets expensive, brother, I'll finish the tab, right? Because I think he needs education. He needs to be able to read and write and arithmetic and all that stuff.
Certainly.
But dude, I just don't know, man. Now it seems like the business world is moving speed to credential. It's all about a credential that demonstrates you can do it, and you can do it in a couple of weeks, and you get the skill set that they need you to have. Now, what does that do for your long-term health? So I think you should go to college and get a 4-year degree. I think you should learn the thing that you learned. Hey, it's an investment in myself. I'm gonna learn how to think. I know how to write. I know how to arrive at conclusions. I know how to defend those conclusions. I know how to communicate those conclusions. I know how to sell somebody on my ideas. I mean, so I think that a basic 4-year degree probably helps. That's what I think.
Okay.
Do you need all the advanced stuff? Man, I don't know, man.
Now let's
low money, brother. I could have saved.
Let's rephrase the question. What about for those military personnel coming out? Should they be going to college?
Until the business environment decides that 4-year degree required doesn't matter anymore, brother, you can either complain about the system being rigged and a 4-year degree being required, and you can decide not to go get one, but you're going to leave money on the table in terms of salary. Okay. So until society changes that, until business changes the prevailing wisdom that you need a 4-year degree,
right?
The HR department's not going to sign off on the hire. Better go get your 4-year degree. And I would encourage you to get it while you're in, because when you get out, you're going to have lots of other stuff to worry about.
Right. Now, the people that are going to your program that are getting these jobs, is that a prerequisite to have a college degree?
It is not for the credentials we do. The credentials, the careers that we send our folks into are applied, just like engineering. If you can demonstrate you're an engineer, I got an engineering gig I can hire you for. If you're not an engineer and you can't demonstrate it, I'm not hiring you for an engineering gig, right?
Right.
So we don't require it. Most of the places we send you to get training don't require it.
Okay.
However, most of the jobs you're going to land in require it because you're a professional. you're a cybersecurity professional, you're a project management professional, you're an HR, you're a human resource management professional. So you're going to work with other people that have degrees, right? And
absolutely.
And I will say, this is one of the things modern day Department of Defense has gotten right. When I was in, you didn't need a degree. Now, if you want to advance beyond a certain point, bro, they make you get degrees. Like it's not even a question anymore. You either do it or you don't. And if you don't get the points on your promotion panel, and you don't get advanced above a certain rank.
Okay.
So the military, person per person, the average vet, the average Joe against the average civilian, the chances are good. So this is for all my corporate America folks listening. The chances are good that vet probably has as much, if not more, education, formal education, than the civilian counterpart you're looking at to consider hiring too, because they've built it into the promotion process now.
And I'm sure a lot of us don't know that.
So,
yeah.
So there's a door prize. There's a door prize.
I mean, no, I've never been in the military, and I don't know anything about the military or how it works, other than what my brothers told me, or what I see from them, which is very livable. So for me, I wouldn't know any of this stuff.
Yep.
And we would, so and I would imagine a lot of other corporate people who did not participate don't know it either.
Nope. Every Marine is like Clint Eastwood and Heart Rate Ridge, and you know what I mean? Every soldier's like Mel Gibson, and we were soldiers once. You know what I mean? Like we don't know. And most of what civilians think of a veteran is wrong. Not every single person in uniform carried a rifle and shot somebody. And not every person that shot somebody has PTS. It's not real. It's not reality. That's what we see in the books and see in Hollywood and see whatever. That's what sells movies. For every one person that pulls a trigger, 99 people are in support of that one trigger puller, or whatever the stat is now. That stat's from like 2017. But my point is, dude, most veterans you'll run into, we had office jobs, we secured cyber networks, we ran projects, we ran, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah. No, because we do, they do paint the picture that, okay, they went to Afghanistan, but like you said, my nephew was a cook, but so somebody has to cook the food, right? Even if you're in Afghanistan or Syria, there's still people cooking food and preparing. But you're right. I agree with you. The presumption is that everyone was out there fighting on the front line.
I can't believe you just said that, Eric. So watch, I'm going to you didn't know you were going to get this, dude. I'll throw it in for free. I'm going to do a magic show right now, brother.
I love it.
Here's when people say, oh, Doc, you help them translate. Are you telling me that you can have a cook be a project manager or be a business person? Yeah, I can. You know why? Because I spent 8 years in uniform. I've spent almost 30 years in business, brother. I know how executives think. I know what you need to look like, sound like, and act like, so they see you as a value add. Now watch this. I've had people come to me before and say, hey, dude, I just cooked, or I just welded, or I just whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay, check this out. I'm a cook and I went to Afghanistan. What value could that possibly bring a business, right? I'm just a cook.
Sure, right.
Well, check this out. You get to Afghanistan, they forward deploy you. We've got a little bitty tent serving 500 people meals. We need to operationalize that better. We need to be able to serve 1,000 meals, and we need to be able to do it in a bit more of a permanent environment instead of a temporary environment. So one of you is going to build the building, the DFAC, the dining facility. One of you is going to write the SOP for all of the cooks to follow. One of you needs to establish the performance metrics and the talent, the skills that we need in the different roles and the different ranks within the kitchen. You see where I'm going with this?
Right.
If you're the cook that went over to Afghanistan and cooked for the troops, and you changed a menu, you expanded the dining hall, you found a new supplier, dude, almost everything we do in uniform has value for the organization. Thusly, your experience can have value to the civilian organization that's going to hire you. That same cook, if they translate cooking for Joes or Marines or whatever into and they talk about that experience in the 4 functions of management, they talk in terms of civilian doctrine, I can hire you as a general manager now. If you can set up and run a DFAC overseas, you can set up and run my department. Now, if it's an accounts receivable department, you're going to have to learn how to spell accounts receivable.
All right.
Dude, Amazon sells books on how to be an accounts receivable person every day of the week.
All
so buy one.
Right.
Read it over a weekend, dude.
No. Eric, you're doing some great work out there, man. This is good stuff. I really, one of the things that you mentioned offline that I'd like you to say, talk about is when someone comes out, you said that they're putting the rest of your life in someone else's hands, right? The rest of their life for their career. Can you kind of go back and just highlight that piece that you talked about prior to us turning on the recording?
Yeah. So, if you've never seen it, man, I would encourage your listeners to watch Sebastian Junger's TEDx talk. So Sebastian Junger was a correspondent, but he was embedded with some of our troops in some of the hairiest stuff we've done over the last 20 years. And so he experienced all that combat firsthand, that horror and stuff. And so his hypothesis is the amount of wounded, like documented, is far less than any other war we ever had. World War II, Vietnam, blah, 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 whatever. But the cases of PTS are like triple, 2, 3, 4x what it's ever been. His working hypothesis is that when us veterans transition out, man, we're not necessarily messed up. And that's not a clinical term, obviously, but we don't have transition problems because of what we saw or did in uniform. We have transition problems because of what we transition into. Think about this. I'm used on Friday. I've got my military uniform on. I know the person on my left, right, in front, and back of me. I know what they do. They know what I do. We do it so well because the next guy or gal's life may actually depend on what you do and how well you do it. So you care. You don't mail it in, right? You give 110%.
All right.
And they'll do the same for you. And when I wake up and put my uniform on, I've got my, whatever my rank is or whatever. I know what my role is. I know what I do for the organization. I know how I bring value. Like I have meaning, dude. Like I'm somebody, right? You take your you get your DD-214, your final discharge paper on Friday. You take your uniform off, you put a tie on, you show up Monday at work in the civ div somewhere. Doesn't even matter where. In most places, mediocrity is the standard. People are mailing it in and around you. Nobody cares about you. We're all graded individually and given individual performance bonuses. I show up. Hey, Eric, welcome to XYZ company, man. Glad to have you. I take you to your desk. I sit you down. Eric, let's make sure your computer works. You log in with your password. Your computer works. Hey, that's great. Hey, let's make sure your desk phone works. You pick up your desk phone. You dial somebody. It works. That's great. Hey, man, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, so the copy machine's over there and the bathroom's down the hallway, brother. Hey, I'll be at my desk. Open door policy if you need anything. You walk by my office like 9 times that day. The door's always closed. 5 of the times you walk by, I'm not even in there. And I never check on you the rest of the day, dude, because I don't care. Your phone works, your computer works, you can show up and go to work. That's it, bro. And when you go down, I didn't even tell you where to get a burger. Maybe I told you where the bathroom is, maybe I didn't. And then, oh, by the way, you go down to the cafeteria or you figure out where the closest place to get a burger is so you can be back in 30 minutes, because that's all I care about is whether you're back at 30 minutes or not, because you get 30 minutes for lunch. You walk into the restaurant, dude, and everybody looks like this. Nobody cares about you, dude. We're all on our phone. Watch the next time. Do this when you go to a restaurant, dude. Go to a restaurant and watch how many people are sitting at the same table with each other, brother, doing this.
Oh, yeah. Well,
they're probably talking to each other, dude. They're right across it. So
they are.
So you go from this totally immersive, connected environment, right, to an environment that's loose. It's mediocre. Nobody cares. You can mail it in. There's no extra credit for exceeding the standard. Like, you talk about a transition, bro. That's 6 inches between your ears. Might as well be 6 miles, man. Right? That's the keynote I give to organizations all over the United States. Hey, man, I don't know about your company, but I know about companies in general. And I also know a thing about change management, because organizational change is simply the collective result of all of the individuals in that organization transitioning from the here and now to the there and then, wherever you want them to transition to. So if you manage it from the top down and drive it through management and you don't include the people, no wonder our change projects fail at 60% rate, dude. Everybody's kind of milling around trying to get it done, and nobody's paying attention to the people that are being asked to be something totally different next Monday. I do know how to help thousands of people successfully go from the U.S. military to corporate America. You talk about two of the most disparate organizational cultures you'll ever find, brother. Right there, they are, man. On Friday, you're tight-knit and what you do matters. On Monday, you're a face in the crowd, dude, and nobody cares. Talk about transition problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what Sebastian Younger says the PTS is from. He's like, dude, it's not what you saw.
Right.
What you're transitioning into.
Yeah, right. Tell us the name of your program.
So vets to PM, right? When we started out, it was vets to project manager. Now it's vets to professional managers because we've widened the aperture. So we can cover a lot of the folks getting out now. We got cybersecurity pipeline. We've got project management pipeline. We're going to have an HR pipeline stood up by the end of the year. We've got the building safety professional pipeline. We were talking about that earlier. And we are constantly getting reached out to by employers saying, hey, can you build us a pipeline? Can you funnel all those vets into our company too, in our profession? So, doors open, the neon sign is on, man. We're open for business, and that's really what we do, Eric. We help corporate America fill its ranks. We help them solve their talent management shortage, but we do it with veterans.
Nice.
Which helps me do my real mission. I care about corporate America, but my real mission is the vet. How do I help that military veteran achieve a meaningful, lucrative career in less than 12 years? Because the only reason I'm sitting here, brother, it was a dark 12 years, man, my transition. The only reason I'm here is by the grace of God, and I'm a coward. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I mean?
What's the name? What's the website?
Vets2pm.com.
Okay.
VETS2pm.com.
Okay. And you have another alliance that you created, a nonprofit, the Veteran Program Manager Alliance. Tell us that site.
Yeah. The Veteran Project Manager Mentor Alliance. And you can find that one at www.thevpmma.org.
Okay.
IRS recognized 501c3.
Nice. Okay. And at the Alliance, tell us, so there, if I go to the Alliance, what am I expecting?
Yeah, so what it is, man, is it's like an American Corporate Partners or a Veterati or whatever. It's a mentor platform, right? But it's targeted. It's specific. Okay. So co-founded it with another private company. And he basically reached back and said, hey, dude, love your people. Can you do anything about mentoring them after I've hired them? So, well, how come it's my problem, dude? He said, it's not. Let's make it our problem. So we funded and built a joint program. And here's basically what it is. It's a platform. Industry project managers who know how to do project management, who are successful project managers, Boeing, Microsoft, Amazon, Air Force, Department of Defense, you name it. We got them from almost every industry. They are standing on the digital platform waiting for veteran project managers to sign up to get mentored in the career of how to be a project manager. Mm-hmm. So when you volunteer your time to mentor or get mentorship, it generates professional development units for your own credentials in your own career. Mm-hmm. It's a resume bullet for your own resume that you're giving back to the profession, and you're growing the profession, and you're helping the company. And oh, by the way, executives look for that, right? If Eric wants to move up, if Eric wants to advance his career, one of the quickest ways to do that is demonstrate to your executives that you're thinking about the health of the organization and its long-term success. That's what they think about. If you think about things they think about, they like you. They promote you because you're one of them. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Real easy way to demonstrate it, brother. And look, man, if I figure all this out, dude, I'm a welder, bro. So it's not like I'm the smartest guy in the room. Right. If I don't stand up straight, man, I use my knuckles to locomote. You know what I mean? So wow. I'm just sharing tips and tricks that we've learned over the year, helping thousands of people transition successfully. So anyway, the VPMMA, You can mentor. You can get mentored. You can grow the profession. You can give back to the profession. It's a tangible way to say thank you to a vet, right? Help them in their new career. That helps them be successful. You're saying thank you for the service they dedicated to our nation, right? You donate money. You donate goods and services. We're working with ASU. I'm going to be delivering a keynote at ASU in April at their project management summit. So higher ed's playing. Corporate America's playing. I mean, so anybody listening in corporate America, if you want to say thank you to a veteran in a meaningful, tangible way, go to thevpmma.org, make a donation, donate your time, whatever you want to do. If you're a vet listening and you want some project management mentorship, go sign up, man. Get free mentorship.
Parting words.
Learn to translate, man. When you get out, nobody in the Civ Div cares, right? Whatever you did on Friday in uniform, on Monday, nobody cares. Learn to translate. What do I mean? I want to be an accountant. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a project manager. I want to be a cybersecurity guy or gal. Go find credentials in those industries that companies value. Get the associated field manual that preps you for the exam.
Can you
translate your resume in those terms using the civilian doctrine, brother? That right there, that's the Cracker Jack decoder ring. You got a good shot at interviewing well.
Can you grab that book for the people that can watch the video so they can see it?
Yeah.
For the people listening, we'll have it in the show notes page, but for the people that are watching, at least they can see it. Okay, now, and what's
that? Guide to the project management body of knowledge, or the PMBOK guide. And of course, they have one of this for the HR. They have a body of knowledge. That's what you're looking for. That's the important part, Eric, is that body of knowledge. Does the profession you want to translate or transition into look for a body of knowledge? Okay. That's what to talk like. That's how the professionals in that industry talk.
Nice. No, Eric, thank you so much, man. You've shared a ton of knowledge, a bunch of nuggets. We said 20 plus nuggets, but I think we're at 50 nuggets at this point, man. We go back and take the first 40 minutes and then these next, hour afterwards. I think it's been a great talk. Actually, I didn't know what to expect coming into this, but definitely happy that we did. Happy we had on. Only regret is I wish we went live. But
yeah.
But listen, there'll be plenty more opportunities for that. I'm not going anywhere. You don't seem like you're going anywhere anytime soon. And so,
and we're both in Florida, man. So we'll get together. I mean, I'm going to Tampa in 2 days, right? So I'm down south a lot, man. So
and the Cape, man. Like I said, I used to have an office up there. So for me, I had an office up there at the Cape when I was doing my metal buildings. We had an office up there. We did a lot of work out there.
You know what would be great, Eric? I just thought about it, dude. Vets to PM just secured a headquarters building, and I'm building out a YouTube studio in it, bro. Because a lot of our business is generated through video. Well, you're a video guy. You're a podcaster guy. It would be awesome for you to come. We should shoot a show from the Vets to PM studios, brother.
Now you're talking. We can do that. Dude. Let's do that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a business trip now, dude.
Let's shoot. Let's shoot that. Now that's good.
Hey, GovCon Giants. Thanks for tuning in and listening to that episode today. Eric Doc Wright, Ph.D., is also a contributing author of the Amazon #1 bestsellers book, Game Changers, and he's a keynote speaker of People Up, the 7 Principles of Navigating Organizational Culture Change Successfully Without Sinking the Ship. You can find him on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn with the handle DocWright2012 or at vets2pm.com. For more information on this episode, all the show notes, everything we talked about, and more, visit our website over at govcongiants.com/podcast.